sure you keep up with all the new content on Gaming for XP. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we'll let you know once we've uploaded anything that's new. See ya! Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Cuttlers Bend, you wonderful people. Hope you're all well today. And we're going to tackle this wee corner of the settlement. I think we're getting pretty close to the end here, guys. And I'll just show you, I've kind of thrown a wee wall in here, a la the similar to the one I've just put up, the video I just put up on Monday, with some fence ideas using the posts, beams and supports mod. So really didn't have an idea what I wanted to do here. Thanks for some of you who gave me some feedback on some ideas, and it kind of started to get the old grey matter popping along. And so I'm going to put a little foundation in here. I'm not going to concentrate on this particular area today, but I want to get this in place and try and, this is what I do, I try and ease my way into building and getting a starting point. I have something roughly in my head, but like, you know, if you've built in Fallout before, just because it's in your head doesn't necessarily mean that it will work. However, this all starts to come together pretty nicely today. Just move this microphone a bit further up so I can see what I'm doing. And this building actually comes together. Now, what I intend to do is, this particular area that we're in today, I'm going to split this build into maybe 2, possibly 3 videos. Because what I want to do is actually want to spend some time showing you how I decorate, probably in the next video. And then we'll build, in the third video, we'll build a little house in the area we're working in right now. So, it's one thing that I don't tend to do. I know I tend to show you a lot of how I do the building, but I don't tend to show you how I do decoration. And the main reason for that is my decoration can be all over the place. Because when I'm decorating in a settlement, sometimes I have an idea and I go off on a tangent and it leads to other places, and then I'll finally come back to where I started. And so it can be a little bit tedious, I guess is one word, long-winded. It can be a bit all over the place, but I think maybe it's worth showing you just, you know, a couple of ways that I do decorate and how my kind of how the process works when I do that. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting I want to build something in amongst these rocks here and in this immediate area. So I'm just trying to get roughly a foundation sorted out, a scrappy foundation, and just as a kind of place marker and as a starting point. As it turns out, I completely ignore this area and work in here. But again, that happens as well with my my decoration, that I pretty much, I'll be working along and then suddenly I'll get an idea and it'll take me off in a completely new direction. So we're going to start with these awnings, cloth awnings, and see where it takes us. Now in this video in this build, sorry, not in the video because I've cut it out, there was major faffage. Oh, there was so much faffage that it's not funny. And it's funny, all the big stuff tends to work fine. It's when you get round to the wee stuff that is small, for you those of you that don't speak Scottish. It's some of the smaller stuff that sometimes just takes an eternity to sort out and figure out. Now, one of the examples here, as you'll see in a minute, once I get this awning kind of in place, and I'm kind of sort of trying to have this high enough so you can walk under it, but not too high. So we'll put that in there. Now, I decide to use, we'll see in a second, hopefully I'll flick to the menu in a minute. I decide to use the poles that come with the mesh fences as supports for this awning. Now, lining those up and getting them where they need to be. Now I think I'm going to use the spikes here anyway, for part of this. So that spike there. Now lining that up with the eyelet looks simple, but let me tell you, it takes absolutely forever. Yeah, and it's that weird kind of fallout. If you've been building for a while, you know what I'm talking about. That weird angle that sometimes exists in Fallout, and weird perspective that we sometimes get and we can't see. We think it's close, and then you walk up to it and you go, oh, it's not even close. Didn't even get it in the zone. So there you go. So it's in place now. So there was a lot of faffing around. Now I do have some fairly big problems with getting the pillar to detect items in this area, and I think it's got a lot to do with the foliage that's around the bushes and the grass and stuff. Because I'm using Workshop Anywhere, I can't get rid of those bushes. Normally I'd be, if I was in a normal standard settlement, I'd be able to scrap those and it wouldn't be a major drama, but because of the way I'm building and what I'm using, it doesn't have any scrapping abilities. Outside the normal, what you normally would find if you weren't using a scrapping mod. Now I'm running scrapping mods, but they won't detect in Workshop Anywhere settlements for some reason. So pillar sometimes detects, sometimes doesn't. See, getting it close, and you'll see here. Can I pick that? It just won't detect it. So one of the fixes that I found to do is put the pillar down and bring the item to the pillar, and this seems to work a lot better. If you're having these kind of issues where you just can't select all with your pillar, just bring the object to your pillar. That's assuming that you don't have Place Anywhere or Quappa or whatever installed. That one's alright. So it's weird because some of them detect alright, others don't. So I reckon we've probably got about well, this is this video plus 2 plus probably another 1 or 2. So I reckon we've got probably another 3, maybe 4 builds at this settlement to go, and then we will be back to fixing up the Commonwealth. And thank you so much for all the feedback on that. If you haven't voted on which settlement you'd like to see next on fixing up the Commonwealth, which effectively will be the builds I do on a Thursday, Wednesday for the Northern Hemisphere, I guess. Either leave a comment down in this video, the comment section of this video, or you can go to the video I run last week, which is called Fixing Up the Commonwealth Returns, and leave a comment there. The 2 choices of settlements that I'm going to go for next are either Oberon Station or 10 Pines Bluff, and at the moment the voting, I had a poll up on Twitter. I also had a poll up on Google Plus, and also the comments on that video. The consensus at the moment seems to be pretty 50-50 to where I want to build. So I could do a few more votes just to kind of get a definitive answer on where we're going to build next, when our next settlement is going to be on a Wednesday/Thursday build session. And if you can help me out. Now that's poking up a little bit through the floor, but that's quite soft actually. I'm not too bothered about it. There is a little bit clipping up through the floor, but not enough to worry me. So I'm really enjoying this kind of direction I've taken quite recently, probably in the last month and a half, of using materials, non-standard materials, to make walls and fences and all kinds of stuff, and little survivalists huts. I'm really enjoying that a lot, and given that one of the rules for this settlement was to be scrappy as possible. It really has, the timing's been great with it for doing this build and also some of the other builds I've been doing on Sunday / Monday on the channel. So just having a look at what we can use here. So here's these walls that recently that are requested through the mod developer of Workshop Rearranged, and so I've been using these a lot. Now essentially what they have done is they've reskinned barn walls effectively. The big drama I love the ones that USO give us, but the problem with those ones are that they don't snap to each other, and so I wanted walls that snap to each other, and luckily the mod developer for Workshop Rearranged said, yep, I can do that, and here we go. So I love these walls. I'd like to see them organized a bit better, but I'm not going to complain. I know how difficult it was to I now have a better appreciation having watched some tutorials lately on Creation Kit, because I was toying, or I'm toying with the idea of maybe developing some mods. Unfortunately though, the system that I tend to use for recording in my computer is a Mac, and yeah, Creation Kit doesn't exist on a Mac, mainly because I think you can't get Fallout 4, the actual game, on a Mac, so they haven't bothered developing the Creation Kit for it. Sorry about that. Flicking through those menus though, I was just having a good look at what was available, by the way. So what I was doing is I was looking at a few tutorials on Creation Kit, and suddenly I've got a better appreciation on how complex it can be to build mods. And I guess once you get up and running and you know what you're doing, it's probably not as complex as it looks, but yeah, there's a lot to learn putting mods together, which I didn't appreciate before, but I do now. So I do have a PC at home, but I don't know if it would run. I don't think it would have enough processing power, because I really haven't used or don't use Windows PCs that often these days. I'm very much invested in the Mac OS operating system. So okay, so we're getting somewhere with this, and you would see, even though those walls are reskinned, they've got all the pieces that you would normally find in the barn tab. So and all these little pieces from supports beams and posts, or post supports beams. I keep forgetting the name. The mod, sorry. It's starting to become a bit of a theme of how I build walls and fences and all kinds of stuff. But here we go. Okay, so I'm using these pieces a lot lately. So we're getting late in the afternoon. We're coming towards the end of the build here, guys. So I just want to get this little building kind of sorted out and kind of defined, and then we will come back in the second one and we'll start to work on some design elements, some decoration elements, and really start to get this area, which will become, I think what I'll do is I'll just make it a little settlement house of some kind, sorted out, and we should be good. Thank you, dog mate. So I've gone back as much as possible lately to using the pillar to do things, because I think it's I think I was relying a little bit too much on Place Anywhere, and some of my skills have got a bit rusty on glitching, so pillar glitching. So I thought I'd force myself to go back and use the pillar a little bit more. And also, you know, if you're on other platforms and you either don't like Place Anywhere or Quap or anything, or you find it a bit too complex to get your head around, then I thought it was important to do the builds not using those mods, so that at least you can see what is possible without having to worry about having those installed on your system. So that's it for today, guys. That's all we'll do. Come back next week and we'll continue the wee build in this corner. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. See ya.